Good evening and welcome to Source 16 News at 10. New this hour, a Christian County man was arrested early this morning after police found a meth lab at his Harmony Grove Road home. Christian County Sheriff Libby Level told Source 16 News that David Sherrill of Crofton was taken into custody around 4:30 at his home at 6820 Harmony Grove Road. He was charged with manufacturing methamphetamine and possession of anhydrous ammonia after a search warrant was executed and authorities found a meth lab and numerous items used to make the drug. Sherrill was booked into the Christian County Jail. Sheriff Level told Source 16, quote, "This is the sixth meth lab taking out of operation this month, which shows we are aggressively fighting the methamphetamine problem in the county." In other news, one person was reportedly injured in a single vehicle accident this afternoon on Julian Road in Christian County. The Christian County Sheriff's Department and Square Deal Volunteer Fire Department were dispatched to Kentucky 272 Julian Road near the 6-mile marker around 240, where emergency personnel reported a Jeep had crashed into a tree, causing his engine to catch on fire. Officials say 49-year-old Danny Kraft of Apache Drive, Hopkinsville, suffered a head injury and was transported by ambulance to Jenny Stewart Medical Center for treatment. Deputies cleared the scene about an hour later. A Hopkinsville Crisis Relief Center received thousands of dollars worth of food donations tonight, thanks in part to the generosity of a local church. About 20 New Work Fellowship members stocked the empty shelves at the Aaron McNeil House with over $6,400 worth of food. The church raised over $6,400 yesterday during service as part of their annual out-of-the-box mission. Media and Missions Pastor Willis Adkins explains why the church decided to step in.
We have a heart for those in need. We have a heart for those, that need to be reached out to. Hopkinsville, we did a video probably 3 years ago about poverty in Hopkinsville, and we discovered that Hopkinsville has a higher percentage of poverty than most places in the state. We have about 18% poverty in the city, so we feel a great need to do something about that.
About 11 Hopkinsville Girl Scouts from Troop 510 also helped stock the Aaron McNeil House's food pantry. In addition, Christian County matches the funds up to $8,000. The Department of the Army has just named a new Deputy Commanding General for the 101st Airborne Division. Brigadier General Jeffrey N. Colt will be replacing Major General Frank Warsinski, who has served in that position since November of last year. Fort Campbell officials say Colt is currently serving as the commander of Joint Unmanned Aircraft Systems Center of Excellence based out of Indian Springs Airfield, Nellis Air Force Base. Officials say the Brigadier General has an extensive history with the 101st since he was formerly assigned to the local Post 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, in addition to the 101st and 159th Aviation Regiments. A Fort Campbell officer accused of demanding thousands of dollars in bribes from contractors while he was deployed in Iraq plans on appealing his conviction. According to the Wall Street Journal, Captain Bryant Williams of Clarksville is waiting for his sentencing before his attorney David Greenfield of New York can file an appeal on his December conviction. Williams was indicted in federal court in Manhattan and is accused of demanding bribes from overseas contractors and then mailing the cash from New York when he returned from his deployment. Republican gubernatorial primary candidate David Williams wants to hear what's on Kentucky residents' minds. Williams made a stop at Dot's American Restaurant in Hopkinsville over the weekend for a meet and greet. Williams has been part of the General Assembly for over 25 years and has been the current Senate president for 10 years. He says Kentucky isn't competitive as a state with the current tax code and that he will use his experience to come up with some changes.
There'll be things in it that people don't like and things that do like, but hopefully these experts who would really draw it, even if they were coming at the behest or working for legislators, they will draw one after they hear this testimony that will make Kentucky the best place in the United States of America to retain or create jobs. And really that's the only thing that's going to turn our...
Williams also spoke about several education reforms he's proposing, including a new testing system.
We created a test system and are creating a test system that will be more nationally scoped and normed, so parents and teachers and kids all will know where they rank and what sort of weaknesses that they might have and what they need to work on to get prepared for the world and for higher education.
Williams is also proposing providing incentive pay to teachers who help students engage in advanced placement courses, among others. Motorists traveling in Hopkins County need to be aware that the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet plans daytime closures on Kentucky 370 Onton Road. Spokesman Keith Todd says the daytime closures are to allow ditch line work and replacement of cross drains along Kentucky 370 in the Ashbyburg area. The work site is along Onton Road and runs from Kentucky 138 Jewel City Road to about Highlands Ferry Road. The closure is expected to be in place from 7:30 a.m. to about 3:30 p.m. each day for about 8 working days, weather permitting. A 7-year-old boy was taken to the hospital after being injured in a 2-vehicle wreck on Madisonville Road last night. Christian County Sheriff's Department reports 54-year-old Linda Mayton of Dawson Springs Road, Crofton, was pulling out onto Madisonville Road around 7:40 when her vehicle was hit in the back right side by a car driven by 44-year-old Philip Brumfield of Irish Circle, Hopkinsville. One of 2 passengers in Mayton's vehicle, 7-year-old Ezekiel Oliver of Dawson Springs Road, Crofton, was transported by ambulance to Jenny Stewart Medical Center for treatment. Hopkinsville police are investigating an arson that was started by an alleged burglar Friday night at a South Campbell Street home. According to the police report, between 9:30 and 9:50, someone broke into 131 South Campbell Street by unknown force and then set the home on fire while the resident, 31-year-old Shatara White, was not home. Police took pictures showing prescription medicines, televisions, computers, and other electronic devices that had been destroyed and burned. A Calvert City man who police say was weaving all over the road was stopped and arrested on several drug possession charges Friday night. 26-year-old Thomas Speed was charged with second-degree possession of a controlled substance, 2 counts of third-degree possession of a controlled substance, and marijuana and other charges. The Marshall County Sheriff's deputy says during a traffic stop that he conducted, he saw Speed stagger out of his vehicle and then throw something behind him, which was recovered by police and determined to be a controlled substance. In addition, police reportedly found marijuana in his vehicle. Speed was booked into the Marshall County Detention Center. After 50 years at Jenny Stewart Medical Center, Joe Anderson clocked out of the laboratory for the last time today. Today was Anderson's last day at work before he retires and says he's seen many changes in the laboratory at Jenny Stewart, but the biggest has been automation.
When I came here in '60, everything that we used, we made by hand. We'd take raw chemicals to make our reagents. There was no instruments like this instrument here.
Anderson says he plans to do some traveling with his wife during his retirement, including a 13-day trip to Alaska. He is the longest-serving employee in the history of Jenny Stewart and says the people in the laboratory are a great team.
I love them all. They're good people. They're good, hard-working people. They're dedicated to the job, and they do a good job.
Anderson actually started working at Jenny Stewart in 1960. After serving nearly 4 years as Hopkinsville's Public Works Director and Engineer, Bob Cope officially retired today, and local officials hosted a retirement ceremony this afternoon in his honor. Cope spoke to Source 16 about what his plans are during his retirement.
My wife and I have a lot of travel plans that we're going to pursue. The most recent one will be to Ireland later on this year, and then several trips stateside. I had a commercial photography company for about 17 years, and I'd like to pick that up. And then I've got some reading I'd like to get caught up on. I have every Clancy book and every Gresham book that have been written, but I have not read it.
Nearly 30 city employees attended the event, in addition to several Christian County magistrates and Judge Executive Steve Tribble. The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources recently named a Hopkins County man as the 2010 Green River Region Landowner of the Year for habitat improvements to his property. James Parker enrolled the entire crop base of his 75-acre Hopkins County farm into the Conservation Reserve Program. He also utilizes numerous wildlife management practices to benefit all wildlife, with a strong emphasis on quail. Parker displays wildlife conservation leadership by successfully encouraging his neighbors to improve wildlife habitat on their properties. The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources recognizes the best landowner in each of the 5 wildlife regions. Now here's a look at some upcoming chamber events brought to you by the Hopkinsville Christian County Community Vision Plan. The Regional Educational Summit will be held Saturday from 8 a.m. until noon at Hopkinsville Community College. If you still need to register for the summit, you can visit hopkinsvilleky.us/ed summit. And the Kiwanis of Hopkinsville annual pancake breakfast will be held Saturday from 6 a.m. until noon at the War Memorial Building in downtown Hopkinsville. Tickets are $6 per person, and that includes pancakes, sausage, milk, juice, and coffee. And the Small Business Awards breakfast, sponsored by New Wave Communications and Source16, will be held Tuesday, February 15th at 7:30 a.m. at the James E. Bruce Convention Center. For more information or to register, you can contact the Chamber at 270-885-9096 before February 14th. These Chamber events are brought to you by the Hopkinsville Christian County Vision Plan. Tuesday's Mega Million jackpot is $91 million and Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $35 million.